These are some of the certifications that I have done under blockchain. In that I completed smart contracts, decentralized application, blockchain basics, and one cognitive class IBM certificate. Now coming for a blockchain. So what is blockchain technology actually? What does this actually mean? So a maximum of the people will consider that blockchain is a Bitcoin, but is that a Bitcoin? No, it's not a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just a cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is just a cryptocurrency. It is a digital coin, the money that is digital. So, what is blockchain? How it is related to a cryptocurrency? A blockchain is a technology that enables transaction of this digital data. For sake of understanding clearly, first takeaway that you have to know is Bitcoin is not a blockchain is not a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. A blockchain is a technique used for transferring that Bitcoin. So, coming to this, for sake of understanding, let us consider a blockchain is a smartphone and Bitcoin is just an app in that, for understanding. Now we will see how does our blockchain works. So to see how does our blockchain works, first let us see how money transfer takes place. How does an online transaction takes place today? So let us consider Bob wants to get a cake from Alice Bakery. So what Bob will do? Bob wants to buy a cake from Alice Bakery. So Bob will give a request to Alice, and Bob needs to pay in advance. Bob needs to pay in advance the amount. Then only upon receiving that amount, Alice will give a cake. So Alice will send the to Bob, and she once she receives the money, proper proof. Once a proper proof, then Bob will get a cake. So this is your traditional transaction flow. So in this traditional transaction flow, first Bob, with the help of PayPal, will give a request. PayPal queries a Bob's visa. Intermediates, Bob's visa will queries a Bob's banking account, and from Bob's please see my cursor, and Bob's banking account, from that it goes it from that amount will be debited, and it will be credited to Alice bank's bank receives an amount. Upon receiving the amount, Bob will get a confirmation that payment has received to Alice. Payment notifies an Alice that amount has been received. Upon receiving, Alice will send a cake to Bob. This is a process where we are using in a traditional way. So what is the problem in this? There are so many intermediates. So there are so many intermediates, and the time taken to this will be more. And for each and every intermediates, we need to pay some general amount. So for that let me see what are the drawbacks in a centralized database. So many ways many ways a bank many ways a bank transaction many ways a bank transaction would fail. First is a technical issues. It may be an account hacked, it may be a transfer limit, or it may be high transfer charges. See now, let us see a hack. In 2018 there is a hack for the servers, where hackers this is WannaCry ransomware. So in a WannaCry ransomware, all the server files has been hacked, and if they have to work, all the employees next day all the employees went for a work, but when they are logging into a server, those servers has been logged. To unlock that, they have to pay some bitcoins. So here is a bitcoin. So 300 bitcoins they need to send for this address. So what is this address? How can we trace? This is a public address in a blockchain. By using this, we cannot trace what the person is. If we cannot trace anything, so just they have to pay a dollar $300 of a bitcoin to this address, so that their server files will be decrypted. So that is a problem, account hacked problem. So this is one that I faced here is, so I have sent an amount. So while sending an amount, I will get a, because of server failure, I will get that there is some problem. So they will say that your money will be safe and will be completed within 2 or 3 days. Such kind of attacks and such kind of technical issues, this comes under a technical issues will be coming. So here, what is this all actually? We are in a new, in this latest technologies, and we are using all these intermediaries, and we are paying intermediate amounts, and we are what we are paying, and they are having accounts hacked, and there are technical issues, and we can transfer one day a transfer late. So for this all, the best solution is a blockchain. A blockchain is, there are no intermediates involved. It is decentralized, distributed technology where end to end, peer to peer can transfer without any intermediate, so that they can transfer the money with no middle. So let us consider what is a blockchain. A blockchain is just a chain of blocks. Here, when we say the word block, it is a collection of transaction and the chain list of blocks linked with cryptography. See here, this is a block. Block is linked with the chain, and this chain is linked with cryptography. There we will discuss about what is cryptography, what is this chain, and what data inside a block, what data will be inserted, how this blockchain is different from traditional approach. So now coming to internet and blockchain. So internet and blockchain. So how internet is also a decentralized and open source, but it is internet is used for communications. And coming to a blockchain is specially used for trusted transactions. It may be a money, it may be a contracts, it may be a patents, or it may be an assets. Main blockchain, why we are using a blockchain is that for transferring securely to eliminate the frauds. So next, coming to a general traditional approach, why we are going for a blockchain. If you go for a bank scenario, if one person wants to send some dollars to the other person, then they have to depend upon a trusted third party. So here there will be a transaction fees also. And just now I discussed about, if they are having a trusted third parties, there may be some technical issues, and there may be a hackers may hack. And there are, nowadays we are seeing, see here, one more why there is a need of going for a blockchain. Let us see a bank scenario. In this, we are as it is centralized, whenever you username and password can be hacked. See here, there are a number of fraud cases related to credit and debit cards and internet banking, where increasing day by day, and it reaches to more than 50,000 cases. So these are all the drawbacks that are present in centralized. And in a centralized, if we go in a centralized, for example, if students gets a results, then definitely they are very they will be very anxiety to see whether they are passed or not. For that, definitely the centralized approach will not work. Why? Because it says that server is down. So that will not be happening in a blockchain. Now let us see how does a blockchain works. See here, this is a simple understanding of a blockchain so that you can understand clearly. So here, this is the first one. When A wants to send a money to B, let us consider here, I am in a big bazaar mall for purchasing something. So I purchase in a big bazaar mall. I purchased some items, and while billing, I have given my credit card. Sure that all the faculties who are in this maximum 100% will use either a credit card or a debit card for purchasing. So everyone knows what happens internally. So here, at the billing section, A will give a credit card to B for money. So the transaction is created. So what will be present in the transaction? By default, you will have a credit card name of the credit card, and still the date of birth will be there, the card number will be there, the phone number, and all related information will be present in this transaction, and the transaction will be encrypted. This will not be visible. Simply you will swipe the card, and you will see the paper saying that it has taken some amount, and you will do some signature. So whereas internally what happens is a transaction will be created representing as a block, and inside that block you will have a name of the card, the date of birth, the person email id, all related information will be encrypted. Next task is what? All this information is encrypted. Now is broadcasting. So in a broadcast, the transaction is broadcasted to the network of nodes. So now here you have to understand network of nodes are what actually. So coming to here, the person is in Big Bazaar and using a Visa card, and bank account is SBI. So here the network nodes are, one is Big Bazaar server, and the other one is Visa card, used for credit or crediting the transactions. And next one is a bank the person is using. Let us consider here the bank that we are A is using is SBI. So here the transaction will be broadcasted to the network, and upon broadcasting, what Big Bazaar will do? Big Bazaar will validate and will say that yes, the person is a true person, and person will come to this Big Bazaar frequently, so that I can be give some loyalty points to that. Coming to, and that validates completes. Next, coming to, next is what? Visa will check how Visa will check whether the person is an authorized or not, by seeing whether the person is paying an amount in time. So if the person is paying the amount correctly, then definitely the person will say that yes, he is a genuine person, and we can accept, and we can validate. Coming to, next is what? Next is SBI will authenticate whether there is a account of that, and whether there is having an amount, and it will be authenticated. Once everything is completed, network validates the transaction, all the nodes will be validated, and now those validated nodes will be stored inside a blockchain. Now a block can be added to the blockchain. Now, a block can be added to the blockchain in the way that is permanent and unaltered. We cannot, once a block is created and stored, we cannot alter. And after adding, then finally a money from A moves to B. This is a general how blockchain works. Now, to work this, actually, what we are doing inside, let me explain. So, for all this, definitely we have to know about what a blockchain is. So, a blockchain is what? A collection of records linked with each other, and it is strongly resistant to alterations and protected with cryptography. The main concept that we are using in this blockchain, other than the other applications, is mainly cryptography and linking with each other. Cryptography in this we are using for data integrity, strongly hash. So let me explain what is a block. So what is a block? Block is nothing but all transactions are grouped together into a blocks. A blockchain contains a series of such blocks that are chained together. So coming to a block. So here a block will have a data, a hash. If you combine data and hash, uh, if you combine data and a previous hash, you will get a present hash. So this I will discuss with let me just give a 1 minute time, so that I will show you the visual representation, so that can understand very clearly what is happening inside a blockchain. Then definitely I will, at the end I will show some use cases, so that it will be useful for writing any. This is a visualization tool. See, here is a hash. So first is a hash. let me complete a block. So all transactions are grouped. So when a block will be created, first of all I said that blockchain is a decentralized and distributed. Now if it is decentralized and distributed, who will be the trusted parties who will validate the transaction? For example, if there is a SBI, there is an SBI bank, they will trust that if you are transferring from SBI bank to the other bank, they will verify that whether you are having that much amount in your account or not. So whereas in blockchain it is decentralized and it is distributed. Now who will trust? So for that you will go for consensus. So see here, so in a decentralized and distributed, there you have to rule a consensus we have to know a consensus algorithm. So before that, how a blockchain looks? A block, this is one block. Just now I said that a block will have a data, will have a hash of that data, and you will have a previous hash. So in a blockchain, first block, in which network you are, whether it may be a Bitcoin network, or whether it may be an Ethereum, or whether it may be a Hyperledger, by default your Genesis block will be created. From that you can start adding your new blocks. So in this Genesis block, you will have a data, you will have a previous hash. So definitely, as this is a first block called a Genesis block, the previous hash will be all zeros, followed by the hash of the present data. So this is the hash of the present data. Now second block has been added, and the second block is how this chain is. We are linking the second block with what? With the previous hash. So this is your previous hash with which is 034DFA. So this is your previous hash. Now coming to the this one, once a new block is created, third block, this data will be created, and you will have a data for this data. In order to link with the previous block to, what we are doing, we are linking with the hash of this with this present hash. So 4D56E1F05, here we are placing as a previous hash. So in this way, we are storing a blockchain network. So you must know, for example, if there is a block, what a block contains? It contains a number of transactions. So how many transactions will be? Let us consider it may be 100 transaction, or it may be a 10 transactions. That depends upon the size of the blockchain. So here, first, now let us see the components of a blockchain. So in a components of a blockchain, there will be a consensus protocol. Just now I said that why there is a need of consensus protocol is that there is no central trusted party. So definitely someone need to validate that the transaction being made is a is what is it's true. So for that, definitely you have to follow some consensus protocol. And hash cryptography is definitely for providing a blockchain, is for security. So for providing a security, definitely you have to go for a hash cryptography. Immutability ledger, this is one feature which is very important feature in this blockchain. With this only, my consideration is very famous, where it is immutable ledger, where as once if you modify, I will show with a visualization. This is distributed peer-to-peer network, and we are having a mining. So what is this mining? I will show with the see, this is understanding SHA-256. What is this SHA-256? So here, whatever the data that we are storing the hash of the data. So what is this? SHA is nothing but fixed size of a digital data that is stored in a blockchain. For whatever the data, the digital data that we are storing in a block, we are creating a hash of that. It will show a fixed size length. Let me go for a visualization. See here, I am entering my name called a Vinayasri. So once if you enter my name, what I am getting? I am getting a fixed size, fixed length of a hash value. Now let us consider what fixed hash I got. F7DD35 I got. Now let me erase. If after erasing I'm entering again binary string. So again I'm getting F7DD35 means for the same data you will get the same hash. And see here, and the what are the features of a hash. So requirements of a five requirements of a hash 256 is it is one way. What is this one way means? Given a data, given an input, given an input called Vinasri, you are getting a fixed length called a hash. But given a hash, you cannot get a plain text. So that is one in a hash 256. And coming to the second one, deterministic. Given what deterministic. So here, for the same input, you have to get the same output hash. So here I have given Vinasri, I got the same. Again, I have entered Vinasri, or I even also have a same. Next, coming to the other hashes, fast computation power. It will generate the hash very fastly. And avalanche effect. So what is this avalanche effect? Even a small change in the text will be the entire hash will be coming anew. Let us consider for my Vinasri, I'm adding a dot. Simply I'm adding. Previously it is F7DD35, but simply for my text I'm adding a dot. So what is happening here? The entire hash is changed, and you are getting a new hash value. So this is one that avalanche effect. Now must be collision free. Definitely only 2%, I should not say, or some maximum of the time it is a collision free. It is a collision free. So these are some of the five requirements that are hash 256. And for each and every network, the hash used will be different. For example, for a Bitcoin, hash used is SHA-256, and for Ethereum it uses Ether hash, and for Hyperledger they will use their own. But the background is it is used mainly, hash is used for integrity, so that no one should tamper the data. So here it is a one way deterministic fast computation must withstand collision. Now let us come for immutable ledger. So just now I said that a blockchain, in that first one completed called a hash. So in this I have components of a blockchain. I have given SHA cryptography, hash cryptography, immutable ledger, distributed peer-to-peer network, mining, consensus protocol. First one, SHA, hash 256 I have done. Next, immutable ledger. Coming to immutable ledger, this is your immutable ledger. You will have a Genesis block and Genesis block, as just now we discussed. Let me show. This is your block. SHA completed. Now let me go for a block. So just now, for sake of simplicity, I simply said that a block will have a data. See here, just in the initially, for understanding sake, I said that block will have a data and a previous hash, and previous hash and the data. If you combine, you will get a hash. But you will also have a block number, like a index will be there, where this block is the first block, and you will have a nonce. A nonce is a random number which is generated by the miner, and the data and the hash. So see here, this is a block. So in this block, the data is empty. So the data is empty, and you got a hash value. So everyone try to see the hash here. The hash here is 0000. Here and the most significant bit of the fixed length, we are having what, 4 zeros. We are having 4 zeros. That means it is difficulty level. So what is this difficulty level? Is that, try to understand. For example, we are let me complete this. So block 1, so I'm adding a data. So definitely for every network, for the sake of understanding, let us consider this is an Ethereum. In that, the valid hash will be considered for, it has to start with 4 zeros. Means whenever miners is mining the transactions, the final hash that they have generated should be started with 4 zeros. Okay, then only the other nodes in the blockchain they can trust, and they can add those transactions in a block. Now this is a block, this is a nonce, and this is a data. Now in this data, let us consider hello. So what happened? The entire visualization changed from blue to pink, saying that there is something change in the data. So what previously nothing is there in the data. Now I entered hello. Upon entering in hello, just now I said that for a hash, it's for minus to do a transaction. I said that it has to start with 4 zeros. That is difficulty level that they said. So here we are not having 4 zeros. That's the reason it is raising. So what we have to do is we have to mine, and we have to find out this random number based on that. So let us suppose simply I will say 1 as a random number, and I will check. No, it is not changing to blue. Now I will try to see all the possible cases whether it will change. So definitely it won't be possible. Why? Because in a node, miners will use supercomputers for finding this a puzzle. So here they will mine. So here I'm using a mine option. So it is mining. Once it is mined, so see here, this is a random number that we have to find. So 85869 is a random number, and this is a hash that is generated. So we got 4 zeros. So the pink of background changed to green. So this is a block, and this is a random number. And with this, I will discuss about mining in the next slide. So coming to a blockchain. So this is a blockchain where you will have a block 1, block 2, block 3, right? Block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5. So in this blockchain there are 5 blocks added. Now let us consider, here I want to change the data to hello. Then definitely what just now I said that this in this you are linking with hello. In this hello, is it audible?
Yes, madam, audible.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So in this is a fifth block. So in this block, I change the data to hello. So once if I change the data to hello, automatically, see, let me go for the previous one. So here I have a previous hash, which is this one. So 0000 AE8 and 0000 AE8. For this, if you add a block index, timestamp will also be there, and a nonce and data. If you add, this is a hash generated. Now let me change to hello. So if I change to hello, so why it is converted to pink from a green is that the desired hash that a validator kept us, it has to start with 4 zeros, but it is not matching. So definitely we can analyze that there is something wrong in this. So here let me remove this all and let me change. If it is at the end, no problem. For example, I modified, and after modifying I simply said mine. So definitely if you mine with some supercomputers where you can able to find out that puzzle, and you can get. Yes, I got it. My target hash 4 zeros. But what if the case if I do in my third block? Let me consider. I will change here. So let us consider hello. So what happened? The continuation will be changed. Why? Because here the hash generated is 4A097. This must be linked. This blockchain, whatever, it has to link with the previous one. So here also changed. So these two are changed. Again, what intruder has to do, if they are intended to change the data on the blockchain, then this has to be mined, and this also has to be mine. Okay, anyhow, intruders has done. But what, blockchain is not a centralized, blockchain is distributed. So if it is a distributed, what is this distributed? Let me see. So this is distributed. So whatever the data that I have chained in the blockchain, it will be present. It is a blockchain is a public shared distributed ledger. So this is distributed. So in this, you will have the same data at peer A, the same data at peer B. It will be all how many nodes are present in a blockchain. All the nodes will have the same data what we are doing in the present transaction. So here in a peer A, whatever we change, definitely. So here let me take, let me change this one to in a peer A. I'm doing modification in peer A. So in peer A, what I'm doing is I'm writing hello. So once if you write a hello, by default the blocks that are in a chain next to that all will be converted to fraud, like converting to ping. So here why? Because our target is 4 zeros, but here it is showing us. Now let me see whether this modification is in other peers also. So we have updated in peer A on block 3, and previously it was an empty data. Now I converted this to hello. Now see whether this is updated in the others also. No, right? So in this, in the block 3, I have done in the block 3. So here in the block 3, what we are having, an empty data, and the hash which is generated here is 94788, and the hash which is generated here is 4 zeros, and it will be in blocks peer C also, and it will be in peer D also. With this, what we can able to conclude is there is a problem in peer A. Means there is some change in peer A. What they will do is automatically, I will show this slide so that you can understand clearly. So this is how we discussed it just now. A blockchain, is what, you will have a data, index number, data, previous hash, all will be combined, and you will get a hash. This hash you will link for the next block and for the next block. So if there is any modification, then definitely the entire block will be changed. So in this, so this is a general immutable ledger. Now let me take an example of immutable ledger. Now let me take a traditional ledger. So I want to buy a land. So when I want to buy a land, actually that land is not in my name, it's in with the other name called a B, but I want that land at any cost. So what I will do is I will go to a government office, and if in the government office, definitely there will be a data registered with a X, with the other name, with the other other card number, PAN card, everything will be filled. But it is centralized. But if I pay some amount to that government employee, then definitely whatever the data that is present there will be erased, and you can enter your own name inside you. Inside that, we can enter our name, we can enter our PAN details, we can enter our other card details. So what is happening here? It is tampered. It is tampered. So that is a problem it is existing in a government. Actually, Telangana government and Andhra Pradesh government decided to place land registrations in a blockchain. But the problem here existing is there are court cases that are existing. A and B both are giving information that this is my land. So how can we, if A is going and saying inside a blockchain that is my land, so but that B, that is not that land, B land, that is of A's land. So this if this clarification gets a clarification to the government, then definitely damn sure those land details will be stored inside a blockchain. So what is the problem in traditional ledger is that it is centralized database. So in a centralized database, if the land is not in your name also, if you have a money, then you whatever who the person who is dealing with that data, you can approach and you can give some amount, and definitely that government employee will manipulate, will tamper, and it shows the name as yours name. But that will not be happen in a blockchain. So that is the reason blockchain is nowadays we are using in almost in all applications. So here let us consider the same person want to change in a blockchain. So it is showing as what just now I said, if you want to change, it is not, it will be showing as there is some fraud here. And and the fraud, what the fraud has to do, if wants to tamper in a blockchain, it has to change in all the pairs, but that is impossible. So that is impossible. As it is distributed ledger, as the data will be available in all the blocks, if you change in one block, and the changed block will not be reflected in the other blocks, so it is impossible for fraud to change. So that is the reason that Telangana government very interested to place this land registrations inside a blockchain. But there is an issue. There is a court cases going on that they also don't know whether whom to trust, whether the land property belongs to A or whether land property belongs to B, because of tampering data. So for that, so this is a problem existing in centralized, decentralized, and distributed. In centralized, the problem is what? You can tamper the data and the time taken will be more. For example, if the students gets a result, and even if I ask what the score of your how much marks you scored, if I ask a result released in next day also, they say that ma'am, it is not opening, the server is down. So that is a problem in a centralized. So in a blockchain, it is decentralized and distributed. We can take an example as a torrent. So movies, as everyone knows that if they want to watch a movie, then definitely if you go for a torrent site, within a one day they will get a latest movies and they will download. So it's like a decentralized and distributed. So they will get the what is this why this failure will not be happening in a decentralized and distributed is that here there will not be a central server. Here you will have a different one. So if I downloaded, if A downloaded, if B downloaded, and if other C is asking for a request, then A and B have a copy, so that if from half part will be copied from here, like it is decentralized, it is distributed. So that is an advantage in a blockchain. So here it is distributed. So here is what? All the nodes are connected under a single authority. So if the single authority lost or hacked, then no one else can do it. It's like an example as a ransomware. So you have to pay so many bitcoins for that to release the funds. So to unlock that. So whereas in a decentralized network, no single authority server controls the nodes. They have an individual entity. So coming to a distributed, every node is independent and interconnected with each other. So they are distributed. Now coming to a distributed, here the same example, land registration. So as it is distributed, so here if you do any fraud, as it is distributed, as it is available in pair A, it is available in pair B. Just now as we saw here, if we change in block 3, it will not be affected for the others. And there is one more feature which is very good feature in a blockchain is that, so here distributed. So distributed peer-to-peer network, these are some blocks that are already added, and this is what? This is a public ledger which is available for all the nodes which are present in those networks. So here block insertion. Once a block is in block inserted, that block will be appearing in all the nodes. So see here, once block inserted means it will not it will not insert simply. There is a trust. So whereas in a central there is a trust called SBI. So you can have a lakhs of money, crores of money in your account, and you will be very safe that I'm having account, I'm saving my amount in a SBI, so SBI will take care about that. But what about a blockchain? There is a trust involved. It is a, with the use of what, consensus algorithm, that we will discuss now. So here a block insertion, we are inserting here a blocks. So once if you insert here, once a block is inserted, you cannot tamper. Once, for example, I've inserted a block, once it is inserted, you cannot tamper. So this is block insertion. Next, coming to block insertion. After insertion, this is my block insertion. After that, 5 more blocks has been added. Next, malicious insertion. So what we are doing is, in this, let us consider peer. This is consider peer D. Peer D wants to do some attack. So wants to do some tampering. The what is happening here? The data will be something, and here all the data will be what, in a consistent, but this will be an inconsistent state. So for example, in this block it is showing as 10, and in all the public ledgers it will be showing as 10 only. But in this he is an intruder, and he's trying to change that. I am having in my account there are crores of money, converting that to crores. So what happens, genuine, we can able to identify very easily. So what happens? So once if you are identified that, there is an auto correction option. So if the majority having the same copy and only few blocks have been modified, means automatically the modifications will be done to that. That is auto correction option. See here, example, public ledger. So in this example, sharing information, let us consider in a public node, there are 4 nodes involved: Alice, Bob, Eve, and Jenny. So here, all are having some amount called 100. So Alice have a rupees 100, and this is a public ledger of Alice. So now Alice wishes to send 50 rupees to Bob. So what happens here? So this is a public ledger of Alice. So for every ledger, the data will be stored like Alice sent some amount to Bob, 50 rupees. Here also, Alice sending an amount to Bob, 50 rupees. Here also. The same copy will be there. And I'm saying that Alice wants to say that I have sent so much, it's not a 50 rupees, I paid a 1 lakh. If Alice wants to change, that will not be reflected in the other. So definitely, we can able to identify that Alice is a fraud, and we can remove from the network. So that is an example of distributed. So next is what, again Bob is sending some amount called a 30. So that will be added in every public ledger. So Bob sending to A rupees 30. So same copy will be available to all the nodes in the network. How mining works, this is the one which you have to understand. So here, see here, these are some tokens. Let me explain about the tokens. See here, there is a pair. Just now I said that, what is a block actually? A block is nothing but, let us consider, if there are some transactions, simply only one transaction will not be stored inside a block. There will be some set, like 100 transactions if completed, we will create a block, and that block we have to insert inside a blockchain. So here, these are some of the transactions. So from Darcy to Bengley, they are sending 25 rupees. From Elizabeth to Janie, they are sending 4.25. So like this. So here, in this way, you will have peer A information also. Previously in distributed, in this example, I showed without data. But now you will have how many transactions that are present here. Let us consider in this case, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 transactions. Or it may be in other blockchain, depending upon. So here, in this way, we are having a peer A, peer B, peer C, like that. How many nodes that are present in the network? Those many. So if I want to change here 25 to 100. So I change 25 to 100. What happens? As it is a chain, so this hash will be changed and the previous present hash, everything will be changed. So I will go on start mining. But what happens here? It is still showing as 25, but I changed here as 100. Here I changed in a peer A in a block 1 as 100, but here it is showing as 25. Here also in the other it is showing as 25. So that is the beauty of a blockchain. So let me see what is a mining actually. Now, in order to add a block, now question arises: who is a trusted party? Now, what is mining actually? Is we are using a concept called a nonce. So here, let us consider there are 4 blocks already created, and fifth block it has to enter inside a blockchain. For that, we have to validate whether that is whether the transactions of that. Let us consider if A wants to send 2 bitcoins to B, we have to find out whether those A person is having 2 bitcoins or not. For that, we have to do consensus. Let some agreements need to be there. So we are having 2 types of consensus. What are those 2 is proof of work. Let me explain this first, then I will go for that example. So there are consensus protocols, there are proof of work and proof of stake. Okay, and we are having 3 different generations of blockchain. First generation is 1.0, which is Bitcoin. Second generation is Ethereum. Second generation is Ethereum. Other than a Bitcoin, you can even write your own smart contracts and you can deploy inside a blockchain, and it's very advantage Ethereum. But it is a public ledger. So if it is a public ledger, it will be available to all. Then definitely you can add performance will be reduced definitely. Why? Because nodes will be more. So that we are going for a hyperledger. So hyperledger is a private blockchain. So for that, why I'm explaining those is you must know consensus protocol. Proof of work is using under a Bitcoin. So what is this proof of work? So here, one block, there are 3 blocks already added. One block is there. You need to validate. Who will validate? All the nodes. For example, let us consider there is an A. I'm not even having a PowerPoint to explain. Let us consider there is an A, B, C, and D. 4 nodes in a network. So in a 4 nodes, all the 4 nodes must validate the transaction. So all the 4 nodes can be acting as a miners. So once a transaction activated, that will be stored in a mempool. And inside a mempool, based on the ether amount that is given by the transaction fees, if the ether amount is more, then if the ether amount is more, then miner will select that. Why? Because if you do mining, what will be the profit? Definitely if I will do something, if I get some profit. So in the same way, miners is they will do mining so that they will get rewards, Bitcoin rewards. And now Bitcoin, what may be let me see a blockchain, how much is a rate of a Bitcoin now? Bitcoin price. See here, this much of Indian is a Bitcoin, so they will get a Bitcoin as a reward. So they will get a Bitcoin as a reward. So see here, this is here it is going on increasing. So this is your Bitcoin amount. So when a miners will do mining, so that they will get a reward as a Bitcoins. So here, so proof
Madam,
of
madam, when they will get reward?
once they complete the puzzle, madam. Puzzle, I will explain what is this proof of work so that it will be clear, madam.
Yeah, they must be needing a supercomputer, no?
Yes,
Because
yes, yes, madam. There will be a thousands of supercomputers where we are where 1 month power will be utilized within a 1 day, and they have to use so many cooling systems to do that. So it's very expensive, ma'am. So that is a drawback of proof of work. So we will go for a proof of stack.
thank you.
So in a proof of work, so the problem in a proof of work is that there is a more computation power, so they have to maintain a more supercomputers. And in a proof of work, all the nodes can be a miners. Like there are four nodes, and four nodes can be a miners, and they can start mining that. So for example, there is a new transaction existed, and for the new transaction, let us consider there is a mining started. Not one miner will do, all four will start mining. Means what is happening here, all four will start mining, but only one will win definitely. For example, I started writing my quiz exam, and the others also started the quiz exam. Who completes first will get the uh, uh, reward. So here all the four nodes in the network will be acting as a miners, so for gaining a bitcoin, so all using a supercomputers for mining. But among all fours who are using a latest supercomputers, they will win, of course. So the winned one will get a bitcoin, and the remaining will be. So what is the drawback in proof of work? Can anyone? All are using a supercomputers, even there are not having a chance. Means in this, four are trying to get a puzzle, but in that only one is winning, and the remaining three wasted their supercomputers power bill, current, all those, right? So to overcome that, this proof of work for adding a transaction will be in bitcoin, whereas in proof of stake, proof of work will be in bitcoin, as well as will be in ethereum also. Whereas in proof of stake, it's still not used, but planning to use in ethereum. And in proof of stake, what we are doing in proof of stake is that, for example, there are four nodes. In that four nodes, two nodes are willing to do mining. Means they want to do validation of a transaction. So what those two nodes will do is, they will provide from some stakes to the node blockchain. They will store some stakes to the blockchain. So who will give more stakes, those will get a chance for mining. So for example, two nodes are among four nodes in the network. Two nodes are willing for mining, and those two nodes paying some amount. Means they are paying some stakes in the blockchain, and who paid more, it's like a bet. So who given a more will be getting a chance. In that two, one will be given a chance, and that node will be getting a chance for mining. But one question must raise definitely. What is that question? If I'm giving more money to do a transaction, are you a fraud? Yeah, I may think like that. The others are not trusted. It's not a trusted, it is a decentralized. So others have to know that whether you added a block, that block is whether it is trusted, whether I have to trust, only you have done. Whereas the previous one, everyone has to do, and once the winner has to show the proof to everyone that this is my generated hash. So if everyone approves, then the block will be added. Whereas in proof of stake, so here in this, only among two, only one will get a chance for mining based on the stakes that you have provided, and you that miner will validate, and block will be added. But the problem here is, if the added one who got the chance for mining is a hacker, so what is a attacker, so what happens is, definitely the others in a node can prove that this is not a genuine block, there is some fraud inside that. Then what happens is, the one which added a block, their stakes will be freezed. Means what? Definitely the person will be genuine. Why? Because if the other party says that whatever the node that you are mined and you added to the blockchain is definitely, it's not a what it's not a it's a fraud. Means what happens, the mined person will lose the stakes. It's not a small amount, they will pay a huge amount. So definitely such kind of frauds will not be existing. So that is the beauty of a blockchain. So even if providing a stakes, even the miner will know that if there is a fraud which other nodes says that will prove that, then definitely the stakes that are provided in the blockchain will be lost. So that is proof of stake. Then definitely there is so much disadvantage in proof of work is that for mining, for identifying the non, they are using so much of supercomputers. So whereas here, who provide the stake will get a chance of mining, but here also there is no problem with the who are mining the transaction. We cannot we who are mining the transaction, they will not be an intruder definitely. Why? Because they will lose their stakes, their stakes will be freezed. And others is what, based on if I want to go for, instead of Bitcoin, Ethereum, I want to go for a private a blockchain. So for that I can keep my own consensus rules, so that this will be executed based on that, the entire nodes will work. So that is others. Coming to summary, so these are all we have discussed about consensus we have discussed about consensus protocol, we have discussed about immutable ledger, it is distributed peer-to-peer network, it is hash cryptography, it is mining. Now let me come about cryptography. Till now what we know, cryptography is where we used cryptography for generating a hash, for generating a hash, for generating a hash function we used cryptography. For validation also we used, and for broadcasting, initializing and broadcasting of transaction, we will use a public and private key, and in that public and private key we will use ECC cryptography, we will use elliptic curve cryptography, and hashing used is SHA-256. Now let me go for now. Till now everyone knows about a block will have a block, and it have a previous hash and a hash. Now let me reveal what is going on inside. Hash values are so here you will have a timestamp also. So what is this timestamp? Why we need to add a timestamp is that it should not be having a double spending problem, it should not replay, it should not replay. So for that we will have a timestamp also. So in this consensus mechanism, validity of transaction in a block, so you will have a hash of a block 0, timestamp, nonce, and how many transaction, it depends upon, here we are having n transaction, here we are having n transaction, like that whole blocks. Now coming to blockchain architecture. Now everyone must know what is a node, what is a transaction chain, miners and consensus protocol, a set of rules and arrangements to carry out blockchain operations. A node is it's just a computer, users or a computer within the blockchain network. Transaction is the smallest building block of a blockchain. Transaction maybe, and the maximum of the people will consider that why there is a need of learning this blockchain cryptography, anyhow it is illegal, it is illegal to use a Bitcoin, or it may be a Litecoin, or it may be a Zcash, all the cryptocurrencies that we are not using at all in India. Then why there is a need of learning? Some of the students asked that why there is a need of learning this Bitcoin blockchain, madam. But they have to know first. That is the reason that first takeaway that I said that Bitcoin is not same as a blockchain. Blockchain is a technology. Bitcoin is simple a cryptocurrency. Why for and one more, while explaining a blockchain, why every resource person will start introducing with a Bitcoin is that blockchain technology introduced in 1991, but it was not famous. But in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto started this Bitcoin application using a blockchain technology. So it is becoming so famous. So while explaining a blockchain technology, definitely you have to start with a Bitcoin. Then only they can understand what is a blockchain actually. But till now we only use, I initially said that a blockchain is a simple a smartphone, and cryptocurrency used for transaction is simple an app. So we will see next how many apps we can do with my mobile. So if there is a smartphone, if you are having a smartphone and it is given an option that you can install only one app, will you buy? Definitely. Even if it is lakhs, you will not purchase. Definitely smartphone is used for doing so many operations. If only one app you can install means no one can buy that, no one will buy that. Similarly here, let me take an example of Merkle tree. Data is first hashed and then hashes are hashed again and merged. See here, I said that in a block there can be 10 transaction, or there can be 100 transaction based on the size of the block. Here, for sake of understanding, I have taken four transactions: transaction A, transaction B, transaction C, and transaction D. Now, for each and every transaction hash I cannot store in my blockchain, and sorry to say that the main drawback of a blockchain is storage. The drawback of, I should not say, but the drawback here is a storage. So all are doing research that to combine this to cloud, so that this drawback will be reduced, and maybe blockchain as a service will also be used. So here, transaction A, transaction B, transaction C, transaction D, what we are doing is this, how we got this hash. See here, on this, for one transaction we will get a hash. Whatever the transaction, you will get a hash. This hash and the other transaction hash, we will collect that from that, and we will combine transaction A, transaction B hash combined to get a one hash, transaction C, transaction D combined to get one hash, and C and D combined to get one hash, and hash AB and hash CD combined to get one hash. Finally, this hash will be stored in the blockchain. Not every transaction of a hash will not be stored. That is the reason that we are using here Merkle tree. Why? Because if you are storing in a blockchain, it is generating a huge amount of data. For storing that huge amount of data, hash is very difficult. For that, definitely you have to go for a Merkle tree, where it uses child transactions, and finally it stores a root node in the blockchain. So this is a Merkle tree diagram. So see here, blockchain header will have a version, Merkle tree root, difficulty. Just see here, difficulty. Why there is a need of setting this difficulty is the first question. So previously I said that while calculating your hash difficulty, block target that would be achieved using this proof of work. So what is this difficulty is? Let us consider, initially instead of 4 zeros I'm placing 1 zero. And what minus will do? Difficulty level is very low. Minus will get announced very easily and will mine the data. But the problem, if the difficulty level is less, it may be a chance that an attacker may attack. Means how attacker will attack? Why? Because our data is decentralized, our data is distributed. But in a proof of work, there is a problem called, if 51% of the node says yes, even if it is fraud, remaining will automatically update the fraud data. That is a problem in this, like 51%. But in real, no one hacked it till now a blockchain, the data which is present in the blockchain. So here they will set the difficulty level in such a way that whomever mines, even you are using a super computers, whatever the computers you are using, the difficulty level set will be 10 minutes. You will take some minimum time called 10 minutes to set. So if you give some time to mine, so the attacker started at night, and they are using a huge supercomputers, and they want entire network of 51 percentage to be fraud. So it won't happen. Why? Because they cannot use, if even if they want to do, for example, in the exam, NPTEL exam, when we go for an NPTEL exam, and when you want to write, your exam will be finished within half an hour. Why? Because you are expert in that. But they will give, you have to wait until 1 hour, then only you have to go out. In the same way here, you cannot mine that. Why? Because you are setting a difficulty level in such a way that how much fast you are, it takes minimum 10 minutes time to mine, to add a new blockchain in the network. So that is a difficulty level. So timestamp, once a block creation, nonce, a counter used for a proof of work algorithm. Now, this I all